back to another video. My name is Alizé and I'm here for Black Transsexual. Get up into the big purr, whatever. I'm back. How y'all doing, girl? You already know what this Black Transsexual is having to do, girl. I'm having to push out this content for y'all, girl. Boom shakalaka. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, girl. Today's video is another story time. But guess what? It's Atlanta story time, girl, because you already know this Black Transsexual had to cut out with some Atlanta trade. Hello. Before we get into today's video, girl, I need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe because you will never find another ghetto Black Transsexual like me. Hello. I'm beautiful. You're beautiful. Get up into the big purr or whatever. Go ahead and lock in on myself. So, y'all, when I tell you I was cutting up in Atlanta, girl, I was really cutting up in Atlanta. So, you know, I landed in Atlanta, I think, on a Sunday or whatever, right? And, you know, I ended up going to my Airbnb, right? I had the app Grindr and what else downloaded? I had Timmy, Plenty of Fish. I had all them apps downloaded because I wanted to see what Atlanta had to offer out here, what type of trade they had to offer. So I ended up not linking with anybody that night because I was kind of tired and I was also sick, girl. You know, them allergies really be kicking in, right? So the following morning, I ended up getting up and I ended up going to Waffle House. You know, I was tearing up that food or whatever, right? And, you know, it was given what it was supposed to be gave, right? So I ended up getting on the train or whatever, right? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. When I tell you, honey, the train is ghetto, girl. The train is ghetto. In Atlanta, so they have like the 5 Points. They have Midtown. I know they have the East Point side, but I only went to East Point one time, and that was in the story time. So I ended up deciding I was going to go to the East Point side or whatever because I was trying to see what the ghetto looked like, right? So while I'm on the train, y'all, it's like it kept getting more and more like ghetto, right? Like at first it was kind of, you know, just, you know, the little bougie black people a little bit, you know, not too much, not too little. Then the fake ghetto hood boogers. Then the hood hit us, and then the crackheads. It just got worse and worse, right? So I got on the East Point side, and I was at the end of the train station, right? So mind you, I had like my afro in or whatever with the butterflies and all the extra stuff in or whatever, right? So, you know, I was kind of looking like the fish or whatever, right? I don't know if I was wearing a dress this day. I think I was wearing casual clothes this day, right? But like this guy, he was staring at me, right? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Me, I'm the type of trans woman, y'all. I'm a very bold person. Like when you're constantly staring at me, hey, what you looking at? Like, girl, I'ma look back like, boo. So, you know, I was looking at him or whatever, right? And so, like, when we both got off, right, it was just me and him, right? So, you know, what did I do, girl? He kept staring, so I went to go approach him. So I approached him. I'm like, do you know where such and such is at? You know, I'm just trying to create conversation. The whole time I'm really trying to bag this, like I'm really trying to bag him or whatever, right? So, y'all, I'm not even realizing that I have Grindr in my phone or whatever, right? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I forgot what the fuck is going on, right? So I'm talking to this dude or whatever, right? And, you know, we're just creating conversation. He's asking me where I'm from, you know, all this other stuff. I'm telling him where I'm from, and, you know, I'm telling him I'm visiting. He's like, well, Dale, can I come and see you since you visiting or whatever? I also got to say that when I gave him my phone to put in his number, my Grindr notification went off, and so I guess he saw the app. Like, he saw the little notification, and I didn't even notice that he saw it. So he gave me my phone, and, like, he gave me a look, but, you know, nothing was said until later in the story. So just listen to the tea, y'all. Listen to the tea. You know, I don't want to miss this great opportunity. I'm like, I'm not going to lie, sir. I don't know. Because, like, you know, I stayed at an Airbnb. You can't just pull up to my Airbnb because my host said you can't pull up. So, you know, we're going to have to figure this out somewhere else, right? So he was like, okay, bet. Well, I could just, you know, you could just come to my place or whatever, right? Or we could just meet up at like 5 Points and, yeah, we just go back to my place. I'm like, okay, bet. So I ended up going back or whatever. That's when that modeling stuff happened. I ended up meeting that other trans girl. If you watch the vlog, you know what the hell happened or whatever, right? So after that little whole shebang happened, I ended up going home, right? Trade ended up texting me. We were gonna call him Trade or whatever, right? Trade ended up texting me, right? He's like, say, is you the from the train station, right? How do I say this? He didn't call me trans. He didn't even say trans, but he was like, are you the chick from the train station? That's what I meant to say. My bad, y'all. I'm literally off of energy drinks right now, so bear with me. But yeah, he was like, is you the chick from the train station or whatever, right? I was like, yeah, but I hope you know, I'm not just a regular schmegular chick, from the train station. He's like, what you mean? I'm like, honey, I'm a transgender. He's like, oh, I thought I was tripping, but okay, bet I'm cool with it or whatever, right? I'm like, what you mean you thought you was tripping? It's nothing, bro. But were you free? Wait, boy, stop. Did you try to clock my tea and say that I look trans? Because if I look trans, that's a good thing. Because, like, I don't know. It's a good thing to look trans so you don't have to constantly announce and be like, hey, do you know that I'm transgender? I don't want to constantly do that, like, literally. So I'm glad he kind of knew that I was already trans. You get what I mean? So, I told him, I was like, okay, bet. Are you trying to link up? Because, like, I'm not going to lie, y'all. I was kind of feeling in the mood. I was trying to, get my walls beat in or whatever, right? So, dude told me he was not going to take the train to come and get me. He was just going to Uber me or whatever, right? I'm like, bet, bitch. Let's say less, bitch. I ain't got to waste no money. Hell yeah, come and Uber me or whatever, right? So, he got me a motherfucker Uber there. So, when I went to his fucking crib or whatever, right? I'm not going to lie. The Uber driver, right, she was so fucking talkative, y'all. She ended up getting my fucking Instagram, right? I don't know what the fuck it is with people in Atlanta, but they are so fucking social, literally. And I'm so anti-social when it comes to, like, certain people and just certain crowds, like, literally. But the whole Uber driver, she's telling me all about this and all about that, and she's telling me how to be safe in Atlanta because, it's very dangerous and stuff for, like, girls like me or whatever, right? You gotta stick together as black girls or whatever. Whole time she thinking I'm the fish. Whole time I'm a whole, crawfish. A fish with a stick. I got fish sticks.
I'ma be the way I am until I fucking die.
So y'all, I ended up pulling up to his place. I'm outside now or whatever, right? So I told him to, like, be outside or whatever, right? Because, I don't want to sit over here and look like a crackhead standing outside waiting for this man. Like, I don't want to do all that, right? So I am outside or whatever, right? I'm walking across and the Uber driver is still there. She's trying to watch. I'm like, girl, if you don't fucking pull off, like, girl, I'm trying to, be discreet with the damn trade or whatever. Like, pull the fuck off or whatever, right? So, y'all, when I tell you she finally pulled off, so I told him the coast is clear or whatever, right? So, he come out or whatever, right? I don't even know if the man was DL or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. But, just listen to the damn story time because he might have told on himself, right? But, yeah, y'all, so I see the man or whatever. I guess y'all want a little description, so I'm gonna give y'all a description. He was black. He was about like 5'8", 5'9"-ish. He's like the same height as me, literally. I would say kind of in his 20s, maybe 30s. I really don't remember. Yeah. I can't describe him anymore because it's Atlanta, Georgia, and Atlanta is very messy. So let me wash my mouth. But yeah, so we ended up going back to his crib or whatever. And when I walked to his crib, y'all, it was so nice, y'all. It was a 2-bedroom, I think 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or 2-bedroom, 1-bath. I really don't remember. But it was nice. It had like an island in his goddamn kitchen or whatever, girl. The couch was nice as hell. I was like, yeah, we're going to do some things tonight. So we're sitting down or whatever. Well, I sit down. Let me rephrase that. I sit down at his kitchen or whatever. It's like kitchen counter. And he's like, you want a cocktail? A cocktail? Fuck yeah, give me one. So he gives me a little cocktail. He stirs that little thing up or whatever. I'm literally watching him in amazement. I'm like, oh my God, like, yes. Night one in Atlanta. Yes, I'm gonna get lit. Hello. So, y'all, you already know, girl, when I tell you, I'm drinking my little drink or whatever, right? So, him he had the little, I don't know, I can't say too much because I don't know how YouTube is, but let's just say he had TH, you fill in the blank, but he had TH fill in the blank serum or whatever, right? And so like when you drank it, it gets you like zooted and booted or whatever, right? And so he asked if I wanted some. I was like, nah, I kind of want to be sane, you know, and I kind of want to be, you know, I kind of want to be in the moment type stuff. That's the least I can say, right? So, you know, he's drinking him some or whatever, and he mixed it up in his little cocktail. I'm like, okay, cool. I love a man, you know, to get down and dirty. So now, while we're talking or whatever, right, he's asking me more questions about my life. So, you know, I'm telling him about my life and all that extra stuff. So I ended up asking him, you know, I'm like, so are you like straight, gay, you know, trans attracted? Like, trying to figure out who I'm linking with or who I'm talking to. He's like, well, you know, I do identify as straight, but I do let women know that I am attracted to trans women, and they don't really care. I'm like, honey, they bet not care. It's Atlanta, Georgia. You're gonna do it regardless. And this man started busting out laughing. I'm like, I'm not laughing. This is a dead ass thing. Like, these women just don't understand. Like, honey, these guys don't care about your feelings. Literally, I'm warning you. This is a warning. But yeah, so that little whole conversation happened. So, you know, I get up or whatever, right? And so I, you know, go up to him and, you know, I grab him by his little, you know, Peter Rocker down there, his little princess wand, and I'm guiding him to the bedroom. I'm like, you and me, we're going to have a wonderful time tonight. I'm going to need you to show me what a man is, right? You know, I'm talking to him dirty. Like, I love to get kinky. When I'm a kinky girl, I'm a real kinky girl. Like, yeah, no tea, no shade. So, you know, I'm guiding him to the bedroom or whatever, right? So, you know, I lay him flat. And, girl, when I tell you I started eating that thing up, girl, I started eating that thing up. Usually, I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. I don't like giving washing machine treatment anymore. One, because I'm in Texas. I love Texas down, but honey, these guys out here are just nasty. And what I mean by nasty, why do you have skin on your gosh darn princess wand? Cut that goddamn thorn off. Like, cut it off. So, he didn't have no skin. He was beautiful. He gave me a cocktail. I'm just like, you know, I'm kind of fast right now. Like, this is Atlanta. You only live once, so like, hey, if you die, you die. So I was like, YOLO. So, you know, I was eating that thing up. I was giving that good old washing machine treatment, Pro Max or whatever, bada bing, bada boom. So while I'm doing that or whatever, y'all, he ends up picking me up, like, y'all, he ends up cuffing both of my goodies, like both of my grocery packs or whatever, right? He cuffs them, he picks me up, and he starts munching on my itch. So while he's munching or whatever, y'all, I kid you not, y'all, it felt so amazing. I was like, oh my God, like, I'm living the dream right now. Like, hello, like, oh my goodness, like, oh my gosh, Atlanta Trey was doing it well. So, y'all, I kid you not, y'all, while we're doing that, I told him, I was like, I kind of want to, you know, go to third base now. Like, you know, I don't know how to say this. I like to go to third base. So, like, you could do all you want. I could, you know, give you washing machine treatment all I want. But when I, you know, start to douche myself out, I am expecting to, you know, get railed. So, I was like, yeah, it's time to come beat some walls down. So, you know, he puts me in the position or whatever, right? And so, you know, what did that one song say? Legs up in the air. So, you know, my legs are in the air, girl. And so, you know, he gets up in that cavern or whatever, girl, and he starts beating down some walls, girl. And I kid you not, girl, it was feeling very good because, like, he was a very communicative person. Like, he talked during it, and that right there, it turns me on. Like, it just gets my gears going. So while we're talking each other through, y'all, oh my God, like, eyes are rolling back, his eyes are rolling back. Oh my God, y'all, he started kissing on my neck, y'all. He tried to give me a kiss, but girl, I don't do that, honey. I might be kinky, but I don't do that. And y'all might be like, oh my God, you're so this, you're so that, but you're so picky. Yes, I am. I don't know, y'all. Literally, I could have linked with somebody who literally watches me. I don't know you, literally. So you know, I told him I don't do that kissing stuff, but just keep beating my walls or whatever, right? So while he's beating my walls or whatever, y'all, you know, he told me to like turn over or whatever, right? So, you know, I turn over, like, you know, I'm hanging off the bed at this point or whatever, right? And so, y'all, that's when that man literally starts to clap them goddamn groceries or whatever, right? He's literally beating down my groceries. He's literally beating down my door frame. And y'all, I kid you not, like, I was screaming, like I was loud. So that's when we heard a boom, boom, boom on like the floor or whatever, right? Because he stayed on the top floor. So we're hearing a boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, oh, I guess that's his neighbors. He's like, I don't care about them goddamn neighbors. I'm finna beat your walls down. I'm like, oh, okay. I love a nasty man. Okay, let's get loud in this bit. So, you know, he starts to bow, 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 bow. I'm like, oh, yes, yes, yes. Like he's doing me good or whatever, right? So, y'all, I kid you not, I'm not gonna cap. I told him to pull the phone out. So he pulled the phone out, y'all, and so, you know, we started, you know, angling. Things started getting recorded, and it's all on my phone. Oh yeah, you're not gonna get that on your phone, girl. He asked for the video too, never sent. But yeah, we started recording or whatever, y'all, and so that's when we both started showing out, girl. So it was starting to get, you know, I don't know, it started giving a roller coaster of emotions, right? So I ended up, you know, reaching the top of the mountain. So, you know, I told him, I'm like, yeah, you gotta hurry up. So while, you know, oh, this is kind of nasty. So while, you know, that happened or whatever, right, and, you know, he's doing what he got to do, he ends up, you know, how do I say this? He ends up stopping, and he's like, I want you to come here real quick, right? So he ends up like laying flat or whatever, like this or whatever, right? He's like, I want you to look me in my eyes and just, you know, start doing what you gotta do. So, you know, I get on top and I start, you know, bow, bow, bow. Like I'm doing that, bounce that booty like a basketball. And if you don't, hey, don't shake it at all.
Cut the cameras.
And so while I'm doing that, this boy likes to do this. Like he wants me to do this to him, right? So, you know, I start massaging the little thing of things or whatever, y'all. I kid you not, that shit kink. That's a kink of mine now. Like I literally feel like I'm turning into Diddy, y'all. Like I've never went through no shit like this, right? So, y'all, I kid you not, like I'm doing that, y'all. The man goes kabooey. I'm like, wow, that's nice, honey. You already know. So after that or whatever, right, we stop or whatever, raw. And so I told him to grab a towel, because, you know, like literally grab a towel. So he grabs a towel or whatever, and so, you know, we go back and we go sit down or whatever in his kitchen or whatever, right? So while we're sitting down, we're chit-chatting again, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, this man could chat. Like, this man could chat. He's telling me about his life story, how he works and all this other stuff. He's giving me, you know, the heads up on Atlanta if I do want to move out here and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, you know, Atlanta's actually cool or whatever, right? You know, there's some cool, chill people out here. But this is where the story takes a turn. So I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm just sitting there, like, we're both, like, clothes off or whatever, right? And so he ends up giving me another cocktail or whatever, right? So this is like my third one now, because I drank 2 the first time. Now this is my third one. So now I'm starting to feel a little buzzed or whatever, right? Because it was mixed with you know, Hennessy or whatever, right? So I'm buzzed or whatever, and I'm not gonna lie, I guess dude was just eyeing me. Like, he's talking about, oh, I love trans girls with, you know, big old princess wands. I'm like, I love me a trans chaser too. I guess it's the best of both worlds. Cause girl, when you're messing with a trans chaser, they're just kinky. Like, they just know what they're doing. Cause I don't like linking with straight men. Straight men just don't know what they be doing. Like, they just wanna beat some walls in and that's it. Like, I need a man that's kinky. So when I told him I like a man that's kinky, this man proceeded to get on his knees, and what y'all think that man started doing?
Child. Anyways.
So y'all, while he's eating up my princess wine, y'all, I kid you not, I told him, I'm like, honey, while you doing that, you know, sit over here and get me on this countertop, right? So now my, you know, whole, how do I say this? My whole door frame is in the air on top of the countertop, y'all. And so this man proceeded to, you know, I told him to put that plastic wrap on and get into this goddamn door frame, come demolish my door frame. So y'all, he comes and starts demolishing my door frame or whatever, y'all. And I'm like, I was feeling it, y'all. He was literally blowing my, he was blowing my door frame out on top of the countertop. I was like, oh my God, I'm living my best fantasy. Like, I've always wanted that. Like, I've always wanted that experience, y'all. So while he's doing that or whatever, y'all, I kid you not, y'all, he's massaging my princess while he's doing that. And I was literally living. I was living, y'all. And I ended up going kabooey again. So then that's when that man proceeded. He started like grabbing all of like, we're gonna call it whipped cream. He started grabbing all of my whipped cream or whatever, right? And so he was literally like, I was like, oh, you're nasty. Oh, you're litty. You're a little bit too lit. I don't know what that I don't know what you got going on, but you too lit. So while he's doing that or whatever, right, he ends up finishing. So now that was the second round. Well, technically it was the third, if you want to count the other times, but we ain't got time for all that, right? So he ended up finishing or whatever, right? And so all I'm gonna say is, y'all, I ended up eating some pizza. I ended up taking some chips home too. Yeah, he got me an Uber home. He gave me a bottle to go home with too. He was cute. I'm not gonna lie, that's another trade. If when I get back out there, I got his number too, girl. He was cute. He was cute for the time being. I'm not gonna lie. Some Atlanta dudes out there are crazy, but it was just a typical, beat my back in, that's it video. Like, literally, he just blew my back out. The other nigga, he did me dirty, head up in the headboard, like all that shit. But I love you guys. I just wanted to make a quick story time. I'm bored. I have nothing else to do. Literally, like I said, if you were watching my live streams, I'm literally off of energy drinks. This is, I think, my 6th one. I'm going to have a heart attack, so pray for me. But I love you, beautiful people. I'm going to talk to you, beautiful people, later. I got to go to bed. Well, I'm not going to bed. I got to go record more videos. But I love you guys. Nicki Minaj. Bye, loves.